Go. Hello, welcome back to the Rating Podcast. This is episode 3. So my co-host could not make it today because since they had problems with school and everything. So today I have a special guest, my cousin.
How you doing?
Yeah, so Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are coming out really soon. It's like 4 days, so that's gonna be amazing. I'm actually really excited for that. It looks like it's actually gonna be pretty decent for the games, actually. I'm choosing
Yeah,
Scarlet.
man, I'm like super excited for it. 4 days left.
I already
Four
know
days
which
left, man.
Pokemon I already know which Pokemon I want to use too.
I have like an idea. I'm like 50-50. I know like I have maybe 3 to 4, like 4 certain. And then the rest of them, I feel like it's just a rotation
Yeah.
basis.
I've seen like pretty much all the leaks for like stats and like just Pokemon in general. I didn't really look at any kind of like big leaks, like any kind of story leaks or any kind of just Pokemon battles or anything, because I don't want to see that. I just want to see what Pokemon there are. Because, like, I want to get a Pokemon I like, but I don't want it to be disappointing with the evolution. Like, you know the spider Pokemon that I showed you earlier?
Yeah.
That Pokemon had a horrible evolution. It looked horrible. They ruined it. It made it humanoid, which ruins it. Because,
Yeah.
like, all the other spider Pokemon
It
weren't
went from
humanoid.
literally looking like a cute little spider, like with little cotton swab on the top.
Yeah,
Now it looks like a I think it's called Spindle, right?
yeah, I think so. I don't like how it looks. Plus, the stats are horrible. Like, it's so bad. He has no stats above 80.
Not one stat above 80.
I don't think so, at least. Maybe it's HP, but I don't think anything else. It's like the only use you have for it is like it's probably going to get sticky web, and that's pretty much it. So there's
Probably
no
could get
point in
sticky web, and if it terrestrializes into like probably to boost up the bug,
yeah.
but that's
It's
really
it's
about
not
it.
I'm going to use a grasshopper. It's so much better looking and it has pretty decent stats. It's like I think it's like one one or it's like 102 speed and like 110 attack. So like that's decent. Plus it's bug dark that we don't have yet.
Which is a
And
very cool typing. I mean, and kind of sad that it took all the way till Gen 9 to finally have that typing.
yeah, it's
But I'm not gonna complain.
also why don't we have a bug dragon yet though?
You know,
We could
they
have had
ruined
a
that.
young Mega, honestly,
They
and it
ruined
would have been
that,
really, really good.
they ruined that opportunity back when was
Flygon?
Gen 4 with Yon Mega, Yanma. Even
Yeah.
even with Trapinch and Flygon, they could have definitely had a bug dragon type.
Yeah.
They
I wish
decided
we
not
had
to.
one.
And supposedly back in Aura's, he was supposed to get a mega evolution, and
And then
because
they didn't
the
do it
games are
because
so bad,
they
they
couldn't
couldn't
make
come
a
to an
design.
agreement, so they just scrapped it all together.
I love
So
I really upset though, because like I've been telling you since like Gen Gen 7 that I want something new for Ariados, like a Mega or a new form or anything, and we still don't have anything for Ariados. So that's just
well,
sad.
you know how it goes. If it's not a popular Pokemon,
It doesn't
it
get
pretty much
anything.
gets forgotten about until like 2-3 generations later. Then they decide to be like, oh, we're finally going to use Ariados.
Also,
Or for
they
great example,
absolutely
going
ruined Dunsparce's evolution. It looks horrible.
It, I just remember hearing like all over that it's just literally just a bigger Dunsparce. And
So you know
I didn't,
how Dunsparce is just one body, right? It essentially gets another body part, like it turns into like a caterpillar basically, and just gets another segment of its body, and like there's a second drill on top.
so supposedly that Dunsparce.
Sorry, you cut off. I didn't hear that.
Supposedly, the lore of Dunsparce is that it's
It's
supposed to
a
be like a little brother,
it's like a little
and
dragon thing.
yeah, it's a little dragon. So supposedly, the new one is supposed to be like a big sister, little brother thing. I don't
It
really.
looks stupid.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent. I have to actually see what it looks like in game. But
It does not
I'm
look
trying. I'm
good.
to do that more often. I'm trying not to judge Pokemon
Yeah.
anymore until I see them actually in the games and the
Yeah.
animations and everything. Versus
So,
like you see some,
some
or you see
like
some fan art,
like
and some fan art
uh
that doesn't make it look so bad.
Balton looked really bad when leaked out, but now when in game it's all right.
Which
Like
one?
Yamper's evolution, it looked
Oh,
purple when he leaked out.
Bolton.
Yeah. It looks so awkward and everything. It just looked really bad when it was leaked out, but in game it was all right.
Yeah, it's just like an electric dog. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything too special.
Something I
Like I,
something I think that Pokemon does really well and like has done well for a long time and I kept thinking is like Pokemon is really good with small little details and like lore aspects of Pokemon. Like they've been doing that really well since forever, I will say. So I don't think they would do anything bad with that wise. They always did something really well with little small details and like little lore elements into games. So that's something that they will do well, and I don't see them doing anything badly at all.
do you think they'll actually focus a lot more on the lores with Scarlet and Violet now that there are three new stories to be done instead of just one big old story?
Um, that's kind of hard to say. I don't know what they will do with that. I do
So,
think
because
that
I heard a rumor that supposedly the story is supposed to be very dark, like the ending.
right. I'm
That's
very
just, that's
I'm
just a rumor. I don't know what the rumor is.
I'm not really
Uh,
looking into like story leaks or anything because I kind of just want to experience the game itself. But I do want to look at like Pokemon leaks because I want to see what Pokemon I want to use. You know?
I'm always more of a fan of like looking at the leaks and like because Pokemon's very big on not just Pokemon itself, but the big thing that gets a lot of fans is the story
Yeah,
modes
yeah,
and the adventure itself, and just having more freedom to do and go wherever you want. Which is
yeah.
why I think this game is gonna probably sell out.
Really well.
Like what was it since Sun and Moon? Every time since Sun and Moon, the games have like doubled in merch sales
Mm.
and like game sales. I don't have any stats pulled up with me right now, but
I think that
I
they're
could.
taking a lot of inspiration of the game through Breath of the Wild, because that they've been doing a lot of that stuff in Legends of Arceus, and I think
Yep.
Legend of Arceus is a bit of a prototype of Scarlet and Violet. In fact, I think I heard like a leak earlier, or like when um before Let's Go in Eevee, like they were saying like how they wanted to make an open world game and like they were going to make it much more darker and like just in general more towards like just more towards like more realistic and everything, and I think maybe they pushed back they probably pushed back the whole game a little bit later than and they start with Sword and Shield maybe.
So like I was thinking as you were saying that they did the Pokemon when they released Legends Arceus, they knew what they were doing. It was a
Yeah,
beta test for Scarlet and Violet just to see how well fans are going to perceive the open world concept.
yeah,
And now that Legends Arceus, granted, it made a lot of money for only a single game.
Yeah.
Since most of the
Pokemon
times,
games.
they get mostly when the new gen games out, they make double money because there's two copies.
Yeah.
But for Arceus being a single standalone game, that game did so well, and every single person that I've talked to along the community that it's
Liked it.
nothing but positive feedback.
I really liked it, honestly. It was really good game. It was a really good game.
And and to be honest, like now that all those like the climb, the surfing, and all those other aspects have come back for Scarlet and Violet, I do kind of find that it's a little weird that we're only using the legendaries instead of like regular Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's a good way to promote legendaries though, or like
yeah.
your generation.
I never
Like
used legendaries though, to be honest.
most people, at least I've been coming to the conclusion for myself that I do not like using legendaries on my team past Sun and Moon, just
Right.
because I feel like when you're trying to learn and experience new Pokemon,
It's best
I
not to
want
use the most powerful thing that can just one-shot everything in one go.
it's not fun that way.
Yeah.
And
As
I've I used to be a victim of it, when Diamond and Pearl and Black and White and even X and Y. I
right.
was a big advocator of using the legendary on the box cover, and I was like, yeah, I gotta stop doing this because it's really taking away my experience from potentially using something else.
Something
And I haven't been disappointed since I've been doing this strategy.
yeah. I also think that
So
it's just more fun to just use regular Pokemon too, because like it just feels more cheap to use legendaries because they just one-shot everything.
yeah, it's an easy cop out. It's an easy way. And number two, like for some people who want to get into competitive and just people that want to like actually know how to play the game of Pokemon, they're not going to really learn anything from just using a legendary
Yeah,
because
they
most
one-shot everything.
people do not play Uber or in the Uber tiers, and they just want to play the
Mhm.
game for itself. They're not really focused on the tiers yet.
Yeah. Also, I heard that I think that Sun teams are going to be really huge in Scarlet and Violet because the Scarlet legendaries or paradox forms have an ability that boosts up their attack and defense or attack when you in the sun. So like they're going to be more huge, especially with some of them are really good actually.
So like for any of the new ones, or just for like older Pokemon that
The paradox
are
forms,
gaining new abilities.
the paradox form, they
Oh,
all have
Paradox one.
they all have the same abilities, which is just boosting up their attack and everything.
Supposed to be like a beast boost almost, except it's just called something different.
Yeah, except there's no like boost in power. I think it's just like oh shoot, my Bulbasaur's about to die. Gotta heal. Anyways, yeah,
So
it's
I'm wondering what nerfs and buffs like other Pokemon are going to be getting in the game.
I haven't
Just
really I haven't really looked into that a little that much because I mainly looked at over some of the main new ones, but like I have seen that some Pokemon like Quagsire gets all the stage hazards except for Sticky Web,
interesting.
and
I like that.
Quagsire's already pretty decent as a wall. Oh shoot!
What about seeing what Blobsire is now? The Paldean
Um,
Wooper evolution.
I haven't. I don't remember all of its moveset. It has a decent moveset. From I remember. I do know that it's gonna be. especially defensive instead of physically defensive like Quagsire.
Supposedly, regular Wooper is supposed to be in the game too.
Yeah, I saw that. I
I wonder what the Paldean's Wooper shiny is going to be. I wonder if it's going to be like a blue
I
Wooper.
saw it. It's just blue. It's like regular Wooper.
That's interesting because like if you because I believe the regular Wooper shiny is purple,
It's like pink.
pink.
Yeah.
So if you were to switch them out and you send both shiny versions of Wooper, I wonder if people would actually get confused.
Probably. I mean, you could probably tell by if they don't look at their head, then probably. But yeah, I'm definitely using Wooper though. I like it.
I've been on team. So we were talking about our teams.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna ask like we should get into that.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna use Coco because I like the reptiles as my starters. Like most of them of my favorite starters are reptiles.
they
And
always
then
do a good job with them.
I'm going to use Wooper. Then I'm going to use the psychic swordfish. Like it's not a swordfish, but it's like a fish of swords. And then I'm going to use the grasshopper, the engine, and then what was the other one I was saying to you I was going to use?
Titan.
What?
She Titan.
No, I wasn't going to use Sea Titan. That was the one you wanted to use. Let me quickly
Oh,
look
well,
real
I
quick.
gave mine away.
Yeah, you can say yours. I'm going to look it up real quick.
Yeah, so I was looking for Paldean Wooper, Sea Titan, Sarah Ledge, Quaxley.
I think with
I, I,
the you know the
I'm
fire
always
guys that you have to kill like
I've always
bronze Zor for them. From what I heard.
it's supposed to be Bronzor or the little teacup. I forgot what the
Uh,
teacup is. So it's supposed to be Bronzor, I believe, for um Scarlet, and then the little teacup
for
Sinistea
Violet.
for Violet. But I believe what at least these are just the rumors. We don't know anything until we start the games.
Games,
Supposedly you have
but they're
supposedly you have
probably
to
right.
knock out supposedly you have to knock out 10 of each just for your little guy to evolve.
Isn't it for like an item to drop though?
Yeah, you have to knock out Bronzor or the Sinistea and then potentially have items dropped. I don't know what item it is yet, but it's supposed to be an item that's supposed to
Oh shoot,
basically
fruits.
basically if you don't know where Bronzor or Sinistea is going to be spawning,
Nothing
you might
forever.
have the little guy for a while.
I'm not going to lie. When I was playing Legend Arceus, I didn't use Ursaluna because I didn't know how to evolve it. So I had a Ursaring for on my team until like the very end of the game. So
Yeah,
that's
I did. I remember. I remember playing it for a while, just having Earth Ring, and then I had to cheat and look up on Cerebi,
right.
and finally found out that you get to switch it to has to be a full moon. I mean, it makes sense though because it's Ursa Luna.
Also, some from what I heard is that they the reason why they made Cleavor was for like Scarlet and Violet for the paradox forms because like you know how Scizor is steel and like everything and bug and everything and then Cleavor is the past version basically from what I heard. I don't
Yeah,
think they
they let us have it a game early, which
yeah.
I'm not going to complain. The thing was a tank.
I'm not going to lie. I saw the Scizor and the Scarlet and Violet, and it looks really nice. Like the metal all shiny, and it looks so nice. I love how it looks, and that's my
They
favorite
actually
Pokemon
just
too.
they actually decided they're actually going to focus on
Making them
the
look
way
nice.
that for Pokemon to actually look like it's what it could be looking like in real
Yeah,
life.
like Charizard looks really good now, cause like I just saw the model of it like a few days ago, and it looks really good. Like compared to like
But it
Sun and
actually looks
Moon
like a
and
nice.
and the Gen 8 models, they looked horrible compared to these ones.
Well, it's funny because
Barry, sending me
we talk.
messages, by the way.
I have not.
Okay, so I just got messages on Discord.
No, I've been on the little screen for the whole time.
Okay, that's fine.
No, it's even funnier because like you just think about with just advancement in technology and how the game engines are getting better and better
And
every
then you just have
year,
Pokemon just staying as it is.
and then you have Pokemon that even 5 years ago, you playing on the 3DS
Mm-hmm.
and the sprites then, and then compare them to now, they're like even 5 years ago it looks so blurry and so bad.
Yeah,
And then you go back to like playing like a Fire Red and Leaf Green, and
and they look
those
amazing.
they look amazing. And then I don't know how you go forward in the future and go from making it look good to making it look bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, something that I would like to see is like I think they fixed it a bit more, but like I never got to use Pokemon like Aerodactyl or Pokemon like that in the games because like you get Aerodactyl like level 5 when you revive it, and you're at like Blaine, so you don't want to train it up or ever anything. So I want to see them try to make fossils more playable because like I can never use them ever.
The only fossils that I ever really liked using or that were playable were the Tyrantum and Aurorius, I believe that's the name
Oh, I
is,
also think
from Gen 6.
actually I think Gen 4 had like the Pokemon you can revive them as these decent levels.
At least they were level 20. At least like when
Yeah.
you revived them, you're like, oh, like
And you
I
get
can
them
kind
pretty
of trace it
early.
up and use it.
So but
Right,
like in
you're able to use it.
Fire Red in like Red in general, you just use it for at like level 5 and like I'm not going to use this.
Even at the point where in Fire Red where you're able to get an experience share,
You still
you
don't
still
use
need
it.
to catch like 40 to 60 Pokemon in your registered Pokedex, and then you get an experience share. And at that point, getting an Aerodactyl at level 5 is not worth it.
Yeah.
It
I
just ends up becoming part of your Pokedex.
also I heard like Ash Greninja isn't going to be coming back to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
It's
Like
not.
no, because like the Battle Bond ability changed fully. But when you defeat a Pokemon, it just gives you like attack and speed and special attack. So there's not going to be the whole Ash Greninja form no more.
Which is very disappointing because I have one in my piece in Pokemon Home that's been sitting for 2 years. I haven't been
There's
able to use it.
there's so many new things that they added and changed into the whole game. Also, I just evolved my Bulbasaur into Ivysaur, and I'm playing Red right now, and it looks ugly. It's just standing on its high legs. Why am I just
Uh,
using?
I was going to mention one more time. The other uh, Pokemon I thought about using real quick because I had like.
Sorry, cut off. What did you say?
So I was gonna say like the rest of my team that I had because I think I only
Right,
mentioned three. So I was
right.
thinking. So I'm going with Quaxley because I've always been a water type.
Yeah,
I've
like
always been a water type
honestly,
starter
Quaxly's
person.
probably the best one out of them right now. Because Protein got
And
nerfed too, by the way.
have you noticed this? Like to go on that topic, the water starters for the last three generations have always been crapped on. Like they've always been like the least popular. Nobody wants them. They're all just like meh.
Wait,
Like for
was
example,
there's
Froakie.
Greninja was in the last
Oh yeah,
three.
Froakie was the great example that no one really. It's just a frog, right? It's just a blue frog, and then I mean part of it use Greninja having the ability of protein is really good, but not only that, the
Smash
anime did help it out a
and
lot,
Smash Bros.
and Smash Bros. So it did get a lot of publicity with that,
Yeah,
but like even Froakie didn't get a lot of love between Chespin and Fennekin. And now look,
Eh,
the tables have turned. Delphox and Chestnut are not loved at all in the
yeah.
community.
No one really
Just
likes them.
the first stages. And now Froakie literally you can argue between Froakie, Frogadier, and Greninja were the best lines, like popular opinion, like
Pokemon in
one, two,
general.
and three. One, two, and three, like are the best designs and the best in
Po-
popularity now.
yeah.
Versus then you go to Sun and Moon,
Primarina.
you know Sun and
No one.
Moon, you had Poplio, which Poplio was a cute little sea lion, and now nobody really gave a crap about that one either.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
And
lie. I
and
don't really care about like either. I don't really care for like the Gen 6 Pokemon like in general. Like I really like Aegislash, but I don't really care for much of the other ones.
because you got because then you had Poplio with Primarina ends up being the best of the three.
Yeah,
Like
but then it get just get outclassed by Tapu Fini in like competitive Pokemon, so no one really cares for it in there too.
yeah, nobody cares about it anymore as far as competitively, but in game story mode, that was the best one.
Yeah, and
And,
then
and then you go to last year or last game with Sword and Shield
and
and
Rillaboom
Sobble
and Cinderace were both really good in competitive Pokemon, and then
and Inteleon for once was now the odd man
worse.
out because it was just okay. Like it was nothing special. I was very biased and I still went with Sobble, which is funny because so you and I have talked about this. Like we've gone
Mhm.
through like who we picked every single first game, first time starters
Yeah, we do that a
for every
lot.
generation, and I've picked water as my starter 6 out of 8 generations,
I usually choose
and
either fire or grass, but yeah.
but the only ones that I've chosen first was Cyndaquil and Soul Silver over Totodile, which I found end up finding out later on that for alligators better competitively than Typhlosion.
Oh yeah, because it just has a better ability and just better moveset in general. Because like Typhlosion does not have a good ability and doesn't have really good coverage moves. Because you have
And I think
first,
I got turned off by Totodile because of the anime. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah,
That there was a little goofy little crocodile. I was like, this is
because
like the one time I was like, I don't want to pick a water starter.
yeah,
And then the last generation that I picked a non-water was Gen 4, and it was funny because I picked Turtwig for Diamond, but then for Platinum I still ended up picking Chimchar. So Piplup
yeah,
lost me both times, and again it was mostly because of the anime because that penguin
Piplup,
is so annoying.
yeah.
And the thing is penguins are a blue penguin, my favorite color and one of my favorite animals of all time.
I actually think that Piplup is one of the most one of the most what's it advertised starters of all time after like Charizard. Like merchandise wise, they have so much Piplup merch.
And I can't stand that little penguin. I really can't.
I like Empoleon, but like I love both of the other Sinistars more. Like Torterra's is easily on my top 6 favorite Pokemon, and it's my second favorite starter. And then
Napoleon,
no, Torterra.
Cortera, that's right. Got
And then
guy
in
got
front
so much got shafted so
and then in fr
badly just because of its typing.
yeah, it's so cool though, but like it's just not
Probably arguably one of the best designs of any starter Pokemon.
honestly, I would agree. Like I
One
think it's
probably one of the best designs ever that the design ended up failing or the its typing ended up failing. It's how cool it really is.
yeah, it's sad. I want Torterra to be really, really good though.
Well, because the thing is too is like everybody says, oh, it's slow, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, but it's literally a land tortoise. Like if you're gonna go off a design and like actual think about an animal creature like that, a Pokemon like that, it's not gonna be fast. Like, how fast do you really expect it to be? It's not gonna be like a Sceptile speed. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be a superior speed. Like, I don't know what people want from it.
Well, like, here's the thing. Like, Infernape is easily the best, like, Pokemon in Platinum, like, in a
Oh, by
generation to
far.
play through. But people don't realize, like, Torterra is also really good in Platinum too. Like, it's really good because you could, like, stab Earthquake really early on and everything. Like, it's a good typing for it. It's just not as good as Infernape, but it's still really good.
I think it just ends up getting outclassed by Roserade just because Roserade is faster.
Nah, Roserade's worse than Torterra, because, like, you get a good you get a good Pokemon really early on, and then you don't get Roserade until like very late in the game actually. And you have to realize like Roselia is really garbage. I
Oh,
think
Roselia by itself, yeah.
Torterra is
Roserade,
so much
different
better
story.
than Roserade in a single playthrough, honestly.
I don't think I even went back to play the remakes. I don't remember.
I
Oh
replay
yeah, I
I
think I did.
played it with my main team that I used for the first time in Platinum.
Now I
With like
think about it, I did get Brilliant Diamond.
yeah.
I beat it within 3 days.
I'm super excited for the new games though. Cause like I really want to just play through it. What do you think the co-op mode's gonna be like though? Is it just gonna be like double battles or whatever? Like do you just think you're just going to be in the same world and not be able to do much? Is there no Nidoran here?
What was the question again?
Do you think that do you think that there's gonna be anything exciting for co-op mode, or do you think it's just gonna be like you battle together, or like you're just in the same world or whatever? Will
Oh,
there be
for
anything?
co-op. So supposedly I've been seeing like, through the trailers and just, going on Cerebi every once in a while.
Mhm.
I've been seeing a lot where, you're gonna be able to like race each other, which is, I mean, that's something they've never done in Pokemon. Being able to
Right.
actually race each other with like your legendaries, that's pretty cool.
That's cool,
I mean,
actually.
it's cool. It'll be one of those things that's cool, but then it'll get boring after like the fifth or sixth time.
Right.
And I also heard like with the picnic, like that, you guys apparently get the same odds boosts for using the same ingredients. So you can get like plus
Oh,
3 shining, hunting, plus 3 like breeding, plus 3 this,
right.
and plus 3 experience share. Like, I can go on and on and on about
Right.
it.
I think
But
they're
then,
making competitive Pokemon much easier in that game, from what I heard too, by the way. Like everything's gonna be much easier. You get the nature mints much quicker. You don't have to use battle points and grind them really hard. They're like $20,000 per mints, which is so much easier to get. So like you don't have to grind really hard and everything. Oops, I don't want Weedle. I'm
kind of
trying to get a
like
Nidoran.
kind of like an Arceus where you didn't have to really like grind as hard for the mints.
Yeah,
I mean, you still kind of did because you had to do all the tasks for the farmer, but I mean that was a
yeah.
whole different story. Um, I also
Mhm.
heard with co-op that supposedly like you both can run into the same shiny Pokemon,
Oh yeah, I heard that
and
too.
whoever throws the Pokeball at it first
Gets
has
it?
the chance to getting it first. Not to run into it, but like let's say when you and I played co-op together, and let's say you and I find a shiny Lechonk, and if I throw the ball at it first, I have the chance to catch it. Even though
Right.
you may have started the battle, I may have thrown the
But you
Pokeball
threw the
first.
ball.
Right, I threw the ball first. So which once I saw like I was listening to a YouTube
Oh, there we
video.
are.
I was listening to a YouTube video when I got the information that Like that thing right there is gonna be the best thing for trolls. And
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, that's great for you,"
Yeah.
because I could already see that you're gonna like anything. It could be shiny anything. Like it was something I already had that I don't even want, or something you have that like I want, and you're gonna be like, nope, well, sorry. Now you're gonna like charge me an arm and a leg to grab that Pokemon from you for trade bait.
I would
I
just give
also,
it to you, honestly. I would
I
do that for.
honestly, I was thinking too. Like, do you think they have like Wonder Trading back, like Wonder Trading, GTS, all that stuff?
I don't think they have a GTS anymore, which is so stupid. Cause like I understand there is stupid things where like people put an a level 100 Alakazam for like, or like they'll have a Rattata for like a level 100 Alakazam or whatever, and it would be
That
funny, but like,
it was funny. I had a quick story with that. One time I literally deposited in Pokemon Home with for the Wonder Box for Wonder
yeah,
Trading, and I always, because they have the challenges where if you deposit this Pokemon in this ball, like you get the ribbons and rewards, right?
right,
So I would purposely put Pokemon in like the love balls or like the sports balls.
right.
One time I did it, I ended up getting a level 100 that was I looked at, it wasn't shiny hacked or anything like that. It was a legit shiny level 100 shiny Regieleki.
Nice.
Just randomly got it. And the thing is, because like when I played the DLC for Sword and Shield for the Tundra, I picked Reggie Drago.
Hmm.
I wanted a Lecky, but I decided just to go with Drago. No big deal.
I think I still think
Turns
Draco was
out a
weird to
month
be
later,
added.
a month later, I just get it for free through a Wonder Box because someone probably accidentally put it in
Gave it
there.
to you,
But and the thing is white. It's not yellow anymore. It's like a whitish, like yellow,
right?
I should say. Almost looks like white corn. Almost.
I mean,
I,
I saw most
I
of the. I saw most of the shinies. Oh right, I remember the last Pokemon I was going to use. By the way, I'm going to use the Rock Salt Pokemon. That's the last Pokemon I was going to use. I don't know how I forgot it, but yeah. And I think I saw most of the shinies, and a lot of them look really nice, but some of them look kind of meh. I
the
know
one that
that
I was the one
Fuecoco's
shiny I was
evolution is going
really
to be
looking
pink.
for Coco.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that. I told my coworker that, and she just started laughing.
Fuecoco is going to be pink.
Yeah, she literally just started laughing. She goes, "Oh no, that poor thing went from being like a mango, like chili pepper red, orange to
Yeah.
a little pink little guy. Like
Should I buy a
it's like
Magikarp?
it's not even like a salmon pink. It's like a hot pink almost.
Yeah. Should I buy Magikarp, by the way, for because I have Bulbasaur, Nidoran, and should I get Magikarp?
Having a Gyarados in Fire Red is always good to
Oh,
have.
it's just red.
Yeah, I would take the Gyarados. I mean,
All right.
the Magikarp.
I'm gonna put.
Well, I said
I
you're
accidentally bought a
gonna.
Weedle. I have to put away.
You know what's funny is you were just talking about the Magikarp. You were talking about like lures and everything with
Yeah.
Pokemon, and how the lessons they teach you, like hidden lessons that they teach you that you wouldn't get it right away.
Yeah.
But Magikarp is a great
Carp.
value in lesson of, if you wait long enough and you have a little bit of patience, you're gonna have something great happen to you.
Right.
Which you go raise it 15 levels later. Yeah, Magikarp is terrible, but it ends
But you
up
get an
turning into this
amazing.
gigantuan beast, and Gyarados ends up being one of the better Pokemon of all time.
You want to be
Not
honest?
just
I think I had like Gyarados on my first playthrough team in so many Pokemon games actually, because I had it in like Ruby. I had it in the Gen 2 games. I had it in I think
speaking of Gyarados,
six.
that was such a You want to talk about another chance that Pokemon ruin the opportunity of like mistypings?
Huh.
Gyarados should definitely have been Water Dragon, and I know
Mega?
everyone in the community is not going to disagree on that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like the Mega or just regular Gyarados, by the way.
It's regular Gyarados.
Oh yeah.
Damn,
That would make him so good. Here's the thing, Gyarados needs a good flying stab move, from what I think. I hope that they give
because
it
I remember it had bounce, and bounce was terrible.
bounce is horrible. It's just worse fly, and fly's already bad. Like it's good in a playthrough, but like you're not going to use it in competitive wise. And that's
Bounce
like
and
the worst.
fly were the ultimate trolling moves,
Even
as far as like having the way to turn
I
and then
mean,
find out you missed.
here's the thing. Let's say someone changes into a steel type or whatever, it's not going to do much damage to it.
No, but it's even funnier when you fly or bounce, and then like you wait a whole turn and a half to find out your Pokemon
Or
missed.
miss. Yeah.
I hated
I
doing that back when I had because I believe Fly, you were able to use Fly like Gen 1,
yeah, Gen 1.
but I didn't really start using that move until Pokemon Diamond because I had I would always use it with Staraptor
Oh
until I
yeah.
learned Brave Bird.
Staraptor is probably the peak of Gen 1 birds or like Route 1 birds, honestly. It's such an awesome Pokemon. I don't think you disagree either. Like I think everyone agrees that it's probably the best one.
It's the best design of all of them too. Like out of all the birds,
Best design
like you.
and best stats and everything.
And here's the thing: who wouldn't want like if you're walking down the street, who wouldn't want a Staraptor on just sitting there on your shoulders, literally an eagle. You have literally a mini eagle just sitting on your shoulders, ready to like
It's
close
gonna
combat someone's eyes out.
it's gonna destroy your shoulder. It's just gonna
Exactly, it's gonna destroy literally anything in its path.
like if
Who
you have
wouldn't
it on
want?
your shoulder, its talents are gonna rip your shoulder off.
That's why you wear like one of those like very heavy leather jackets. You'll be all right. It's not gonna
Here's the
tear nothing.
here's the thing. It also has a close combat, which is probably one of the other reasons why it's just so good. Because like you have
It's the first bird to learn that.
it has really good. I think it's the only one to have it. Because like
Yeah, you
you
could
look
be
in
right
back,
on that one.
you look back. Pidgeot isn't that good. You Noctowl is horrible. You have Isfella, which was all right, and then you go to and you turn into Staraptor, and it's amazing. Oh, what
It
the heck?
it ends up
Poison.
turning the tide for people actually wanting to use Route One birds.
Like it's both of its abilities are amazing. It has either intimidate or reckless, and which is really great because reckless has the ability to boost up its brave bird and double edge too. So like you
Yeah,
have an
which I
amazing bird
couldn't
that gets
stand.
you get
Couldn't stand double edge.
you don't like recoil moves.
Absolutely not.
I'm not going to lie, I was in the same boat, but I kind of started liking it more because like here's the thing, like I when I told you like I played Gen 5 for the first time, like the actual games, right? And I'm just going to say I had uh Darmanitan with sheer force, and it destroyed everything with Flare Blitz. Like everything died. Like it didn't die from the recoil because it killed everything before it could lose. It's
Which is
amazing.
which is I guess the main reason I've never liked recoil move is because back in the
Healing.
day when I actually used to start playing, I used to be more of a aggressive battler, and it was
Right.
always attack, 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 no strategy, no, not really using your mind, really just
Yeah.
being very headstrong and
Peak is one of the
reckless.
strongest move in attack.
And I was very like reckless and like too like what is it too big of an ego to really care about like using an actual strategy or like
Right.
building a team the right way. And now I play a little bit more conservative, and now I'm kind of like afraid to use recoil moves unless I absolutely have to. And it's one of those like, when you're just like, you know what, screw it. I need to knock out this Pokemon.
Yeah.
I need to advance in this game for
Yeah,
the
you
story.
because you'll
I
never
don't want to be stuck here the
surpass.
whole time.
Yeah, it's just I think like the only other move you get for like Darmanitan is like Fire Punch that you would use, but like I mean it's good enough as it is because like you get Sheer Force and Darmanitan's already really strong, but then you get Flare Blitz and then you just kill everything instantly. Like I think my black and white team was probably the best just team in that I ever had like as a first team because I had Samurott, I had Scolipede, I had oh shoot, my Pokemon are going to die, but I have Scolipede, I had Krookodile, I had Darmanitan, I had Ferroseed or Ferrothorn, and then I had Electros, and that was probably the best team I have ever had in a actual just playthrough because they were all monsters.
Yeah, it turns out to be like there's some of the best. Even today, there's still some of the best
Oh
considered
yeah,
Pokemon. Which is very funny because Gen 5 used to get a really bad rap with a lot of the early in the community days. A
yeah.
lot of people, oh, it's just they're just a reboot of Gen 1. They're just trying to almost trying to completely erase the last four generations, and
I'm
they
not
have
gonna
all these
lie.
brands on,
I
and
really
it's
don't like communities in anything because like I never consider myself part of the Pokemon community. I just play the games. I never really talk to anyone except like with you because like we just talk about it, whatever, and like everyone gets so upset for different reasons if you don't like a certain aspect of a game or whatever. It just takes away the fun or whatever. Like I like to make fun of Charizard, but like I'm not going to make fun of
I was just
people
telling this the
who
other
like
day.
it.
I was
Like
just saying
Charizard's
this
just
the other day. Like, speaking of the community, I was just telling this, and you and I are very big Pokemon fans. Like,
yeah.
like we talk about all the time. Like, I was the reason I got you into Pokemon and everything, and I'm glad that I did that. And
Pokemon's probably
Pokemon, like
easily
outside, well, let's face it, online in general is toxic as it is.
yeah.
But I've never like I've been in a decent amount of different communities along those sides of like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah.
like sports games and all that other thing, like all my other like hobbies and stuff I'm into. I've never seen for a particular franchise in a community how toxic the online Pokemon community really is.
I know,
It
like,
almost sometimes makes me sad and not want to play like or not get involved with those
yeah, I
people.
never
But
get
at the
involved with it. Cause
same
you know
time,
that,
the only reason I get involved with it is just because like on Facebook and
you want to get the
Instagram and
Pokemon you
stuff,
want.
uh some of the other platforms, some
Yeah.
people are giving
Cause,
away like free shinies or free like level 100 of
yeah.
whatever that I don't have in my collection. That's the only reason I really go on there.
But
Outside of that,
let me be real.
I try to keep my opinions to myself when it
Yeah.
comes to the Pokemon community,
I'm gonna
just
be,
because I don't like getting in trouble.
you know that one fire snake Pokemon I made myself, like, as a starter or whatever?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I joined this one Discord server with like it's full. It's supposed to be like competitively wherever, and there's like art. So I showed up there, and it's like I put a whole bunch of stats wherever, like it's what it's supposed to be and what I wanted to turn it into wherever, and people are just
Hmm.
being like, but that's not really good of a Pokemon because like I made it as a fire starter and I was going to turn it into a lantern, right? Because like
Yeah.
it's a torch, it's a snake that's a torch because like it's a whole thing's lighted up, and I made the base stats like close to what most starters have like. I think I based it around like what Cinequote has as like the base stat total, and it's like people are saying like, oh, th- this 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 isn't that good because it's just on good Pokemon instead of like the actual design itself. Like, okay, but like it's supposed
See,
to be
I was
bad. It's a
speaking of that.
pre-evolution, and I was saying
Let
like,
me add to that when you're done.
yeah, I might do it sometime. I don't know if I will fully. But I'll do it eventually because I'm gonna make it like a steel type, right? And I'm gonna put the
Yeah,
lantern as his head because whatever. And then what my plan was, I was going to give it an ability called like light up or whatever, like where it's like boosts up the accuracy of a move because like it lights up the way in the cave wherever. That's my reasoning why. And then like I don't know, people are just kind of annoying in the community. So like yeah,
I I'll say this because you said like people are critiquing your thing way too harshly. I
yeah,
will
like
say this: people don't know in a way. Like I've noticed, like just within the last like just 10 years just of existing, and instead of people just well, shoot, even 5 years, I can go back 5 years.
mhm,
A lot of people don't know how to generally critique something without coming off to be sounding
right,
like they hate your stuff. Like, like constructive criticism,
yeah.
like, be like, hey, man, like you did a good job on your piece. But here, like, if I noticed just a little bit of this, like you can do a little bit better. Like, you could add like this coloring better, or you could have used
Oh
this
no,
type
they
of
weren't even talking about the
product better.
design at all. They were just saying that, like the stats itself.
Or yeah,
Which
you could have been like, hey, maybe you can make it. I don't know if it was a special attacker or a special or a
it was
physical
going to be
attacker.
a special attacker, yeah.
All right, so you say so it's a special attacker. Someone could be like, hey, maybe could you think you can boost like the attack just a little bit more? And you'd be like, okay, like maybe like I don't think it's necessary. It's just a fan art. It's not
Yeah.
really that big of a deal. It's not gonna actually become a real Pokemon. It's just
Yeah.
something I do for fun. And you come off and adjust or justify something like that, and sometimes it feels like it doesn't matter because that person is so stuck in their mindset of their ways that they
Right.
they can't just agree to disagree anymore.
That's like the
And
whole
it's
internet in
literally
general.
something you drew. It's literally something you drew out of your own entertainment and your own like your
Fun.
hobby. It's
Which
not
I will say
something to be
that's
taken
probably
that
one of the
serious.
best drawings I've done actually. Like my own Pokemon. That one looks really good, honestly.
You've been drawing for a good amount of time too.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you, I think how long did you take on that snake? Like a couple weeks. Like
I would
just
say like
slowly.
maybe like 4-ish weeks, maybe 3. Because like here's the thing. Not only was I like coming in with like the drawing itself, but also like design and everything else too. Where's the moonstone in Mount Moon of Fire Red or of Red again?
Not so bad. It's at the it's in the top corner, like
All
when you,
right.
in the beginning of the entrance.
Yeah, my Nidorant's almost a Nidorino, so I'm gonna just make a Nidoking already.
Like speaking of that, like with Fire Red, you remember that one time like you guys came over and I showed you that I literally had like by Mountain Moon, I had like a level 34 Venusaur
Yeah.
because I was like for the one time I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep on buffing it up and keep on buffing it up because I was like I've never really like done that before. We're at a third stage starter already by the time not even the second gym has even happened.
Oh, you can easily do that, honestly.
Well, especially with Venusaur, because you just go on the Mount Moon and you just
Kill
tear up some
Geodudes.
Geodudes and even some Onyxes here and there, and
Honestly,
even
Onyx is such a bad Pokemon. I love making fun of it. It looks really cool and everything, but it's so bad. It has worse stats than like Sentret with attack. Like its attack is only like 40 or whatever. And this is kind of sad, honestly.
I was gonna say too, like going back to like Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah,
So how hard do you think, because they have confirmed that there is no level scaling for the gyms?
right.
How difficult do you actually find that to be, uh, like going forward, just not just with this game, but like in future franchises? Do you think they're gonna continue to go with that, or do you think that it's just for this game only?
I feel like that they would probably scale it up because a lot of people have their complaints, and it looks like Pokemon is starting to listen to people. I want to say that they will scale it up because, like, I'm not going to lie, that's kind of dumb. Because like you're having an open world game, but like you're not scaling the level and everything. Like I know, like
I feel
here's
like
the thing,
that
like
it's gonna be
Breath
hard
of
to
the
do
Wild
though.
does this, and what they do is like once you kill a certain amount of monsters and like different types of monsters and everything, they will boost up the monsters' levels and like they will make them stronger and everything, and they will just make it much harder in general. Like they will have different enemies spawn and just over and power them up a bit. Cause like there's in Breath of the Wild, there's like red, blue, black, and then I think silver, and I think there's gold in the hardest in a hard mode. But like what they do is there's a certain amount level of threshold that would do it. Cause like I think they could easily do something like that, but like I don't know if they will.
They
It might take them a
probably
while
won't, just
though.
because in a way it is. I kind of see why people complain, because it is, it's supposed to be open world. It's supposed to be like whenever somebody wants to go challenge this particular gym or type, and
Hmm.
whoever they're at in the story, because they've said there's three different stories. Not everybody's going to be doing this story at this particular time. Some people are actually going to flip flop between all three of them,
Yeah,
and
I
some,
hope they just changed it a little bit more because like I want them to be different. I want it to be just I want this to be a really good game, you know?
it's going to be a good step going forward, just as a fan of
Yeah,
just not only like the technology, but just the fan the the
just a game
company
in general.
itself actually listening to everybody.
It's like
Well, like they're gonna only like serve
yeah,
so many complaints though, because they're
yeah,
not gonna make every. I was
everyone
just
happy.
telling this to my coworker the other day that I've never seen, like, talking about like the community being like toxic and everything.
Yeah,
A good portion of it, not all of it. A good portion. I'd say probably like a good 65-70% of the community is toxic. Then you got the other 30% that actually
we
just
don't.
doesn't care and just wants to have a good game.
Yeah,
So I was telling my coworker this the other day, that I've never seen, like, Pokemon is so ticky tacky. Like, the fans are so ticky tacky for something as small as, I like the Pokemon, but I don't like its design, or I like its typing, but I don't like its design. I like the design, but I hate the typing. Like, there's
yeah.
so many like random tic tacky like
Uh,
stuff that doesn't need to necessarily be.
yeah, but stuff with like the animations and everything and the models themselves, I think is a fair criticism to make. Cause like they don't look that good. Cause like you look at the one one Pokemon game, the Sword and Shield, and you see the legendary just not even turn good. And I have an
No,
Eevee
not.
now.
It's just like there's over like 1,000 Pokemon, or there's gonna be a thousand Pokemon. I don't know the exact number that they
I
were
think it's
throwing out there.
it said something like uh 10, 10 or 1,080 Pokemon, I think, around that area range.
You said 1,080
Yeah,
or 80 or 8,
1,080. Like
like including like DLC that's coming out.
I'm not sure, but like
Because like like I know for a fact that we're gonna hit 1,000.
Yeah,
Like that's already gonna happen. Like that's happening because
we
that
definitely
Gimme
are.
Ghoul that came out, Gimme Ghoul is supposed to, you need to collect 999 coins for it to be, to evolve into the 1,000th Pokemon. So,
Right.
like, that's already been confirmed. So that I'm not doing any rumors or anything, but
Yeah.
or leaks. But I think there's probably going to be roughly because I've heard a lot of numbers thrown out of like in between. Like this is I'm talking brand new Pokemon here. I'm not talking
Right.
about returning. Um, I've heard in between like 107 to 113 to sometimes I've heard like 90 something. Like I've heard like so many different. Like I don't know if that's what the actual confirmed number is.
Right.
So I'm thinking roughly it'll probably be like the total dex number, not including. Hey, sorry. Would you calm down? Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good.
So for I'm thinking it's gonna be roughly like the dex number is gonna be about 1,010. That's just me.
Right.
Hey, get away from the window.
I'm
I'm
planning.
thinking about 1,010 roughly. Like I think that's a good number,
Right.
but I don't remember how many paradox Pokemon there are in each game.
I think there's 12 in total or 14 in total.
So like 6 to 7 per version.
Yeah. Because there's Donphan. Like I'm trying to think Scarlet. There's Donphan, there's Volcarona, there's
Yeah, because each
Salamence,
version gets a Donphan and a Volcarona.
there's Misdreavus, Amoonguss,
Salamence.
I said Salamence, Hydreigon, Magneton, Tyranitar, uh I'm trying to think.
Some random. Oh, Delibird.
Delibird, Jigglypuff. I think that's all.
For all the paradoxes, like
I
total.
Hariyama too.
Oh, Hariyama. Yeah, because I've noticed. So apparently that all the violet ones are supposed to be like
Steel.
almost like they're futuristic because
Yeah.
they're steel, and I
I
believe
don't
all the
understand
all the
how Tyranitar isn't steel type though. Like I understand that it can't make all of them steel because they're all like metal or whatever. Like, why isn't Tyranitar steel? That one makes the most sense out of all of them.
it's supposed to be like Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, so why didn't they make it steel electric instead of rock electric? Because that just I don't know. That just
But
didn't sit well with me. That's when I kind of think is dumb that they didn't do it well. Well,
well, you also don't like it because your Tyranitar is also one of your favorite Pokemon.
no, I like the look. I love the look of Tyranitar of the new one. That one looks really cool.
You're just saying the typing just could have been better,
It's
or
like
the
Rock Electric is so much better than just than Rock Dark. Rock Dark is one of the worst typings. I just think it makes more sense for it to be a Steel type, just from based on how it looks and everything.
that. And if you're gonna make almost every Pokemon in Scarlet, Violet be Steel, then
No,
why is this the one exception?
no, they I don't think any of them are steel, but like most of them look metal and everything. And I think they should have made at least one of them steel type. And I think that one makes the most sense for it to be a steel type. Oh yeah, also there's gonna be Glade in Gardevoir paradox form. So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah, I forgot about that one.
I think they should have
Not that.
made it steel typing because that just makes so much more sense than to not have it be steel, you know?
Yeah,
Like
I mean, like, so the apparently too is because like all these paradoxes are copies of like original Pokemon.
Yeah.
So supposedly that these Pokemon are different Dex entries, and they're considered a brand new name.
Yeah.
So it's I kind of find that a little funny,
Yeah,
just
that's
because
nice.
because like for the Dom fans that were introduced, it's Iron Tusks. I mean, what is it? Great Tusk and like
Iron
what were the what
Iron
was the one
Tread,
for Violet?
whatever. It's
Yeah,
like
it was like Steel something. I'm like, we all clearly see that it's a Don fan. Like, you're
that
not fooling us.
that doesn't make any sense, honestly. But
At least
yeah.
for at least for like the Great Tusk one in Scarlet. Which, by the way, I think so. I was gonna reveal that. So I bought the dual pack for both of us
Yeah.
for our listeners, and I am going with Violet. And the funny story is that when him and I were talking, like when the first original trailer came out,
Hmm.
I said I was getting Violet anyways, like no matter what the box covers looked like. And then he told me, he's like, "Well, Dame, the funny part is that pretty much every generation we've only disagreed like twice." So he's like, "How? What if I liked Violet?" I'm like, "Well, that doesn't matter because I'm buying it, and you're getting whatever I don't like."
No, I, I think no, I think you asked me like which one would I prefer, and like I don't know yet because I want to see what exclusives and legendaries we have.
And I
That's
still
what I was
said, I said, I
saying.
don't care. I still said, I don't care. You're getting whatever I
Yeah,
don't want. Which is like, it's almost kind of fair because I was like, well,
yeah,
I'm
that's
the
fine.
one
That's
buying
fine.
it.
I would be okay with anyone. Well, I mean, I would
Well,
have
because it was
bought
because you
my own
said
if
that too.
anything too.
Because you said like I'd be fine with either one, and then like I like how you like messaged me like in confidence that you're like, yeah, you know what, now that after the box covers come out, I'm gonna go with Scarlet. I'm like, well, good, that's what you're getting
Yeah.
anyways.
No, no, I said like something like I like the Scarlet Legendary more.
Either way, it's still one of those, you were getting that one anyways.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just me talking about like just this the legendaries because I think I saw it before you and I said I was saying like oh I think I like the legendary of the Scarlet one. Plus
I
it's
like that
it's
you've been
fighting
more
type
of
too,
a
which is one of my
reptile
favorites.
lover than me, and I'm the one that owns
Yeah,
reptiles. But that's a different story. But reptilian Pokemon, you've been more a fan of them than I have, and that's
yeah,
not saying I don't like reptilian Pokemon, but once you saw Koraidon, I was like, yeah, he's probably gonna go with that one anyways.
yeah. Plus, there's also fighting type too, and I like fighting types. Like my favorite typing of
Has
all
that
time is
been
Bug.
confirmed?
My favorite typing is Bug, and then my next like ones are like fighting, steel, and poison are like my next running up ones.
Oh, for your favorite types?
Yeah,
Let's see. I'd probably say mine were
ground.
ground, ground, water.
Actually, I think
Uh,
ground would probably be in one of my in those two because I realized a lot of the ground type Pokemon are probably some of my favorite. Let me quickly go up Smog on ground. We have to
yeah, ground,
I have to expand
water.
I have to expand the screen because I the emulator I'm using for like Pokemon Red is like really small, so I had to zoom in. So yeah, I love so many of the ground types like Excadrill, Donphan, Marowak,
Quagsire,
Nidoking, Quagsire,
Quagsire.
uh, Garchomp, Golurk, Crocodile. So many of the ground types are such cool Pokemon. So I would
Those
probably
are just
put ground
those
in
are
one of
just
my
like
favorites.
those are just some of them. Those aren't even half of them.
Yeah, those are just Mamoswine
Well,
too,
well,
Rhyperior,
I think the reason
Swampert.
why I've always oh, go ahead.
No, you can go now. Also Torterra. But
I
yeah, you can
think
go.
a reason why I've always liked ground types more than anyone else. So a little backstory about me. So I have always been a kid that is kind of a rebel in a sense of not liking the most popular thing just because I'm someone that likes to like something because I like something, not because somebody else wants me to like something.
Right.
So I always like types and just things that are just not um wouldn't say that they're not popular, or I like a lot of underrated things.
Right.
So I like to be different
Yeah.
in a good way though. And I like ground types. I found a love for ground types maybe about 4 to 5 years ago because I was like, wait a second. I love Nidoking. I love Swampert is my favorite Pokemon starter of all time. I like Nidoking. I like Garchomp, which
Hmm.
who's my favorite pseudo legendary. Not just
I
because of the types, just because of
Yeah.
of the first ever uh ground dragon that should have
Yeah.
been Flygon, but we already talked about that.
But Flygon is a
Um,
ground ground
I'm
um
sorry, yeah, ground
yeah.
dragon. My bad. I
Yeah.
meant to say it was supposed to be bug dragon,
Yeah.
but either way, I like Excadrill a lot. I like
Mamoswine.
Hippowdon. Mamoswine, I like it, but it's not like one of my favorites. But
Uh
I still like it.
Excadrill, right? You told me
Torterra, especially Quagsire. I almost kind of the same list you gave, except
yeah.
I have a little bit more. I can't think of them all.
Yeah.
I also was a big fan of Mudsdale.
I love
Um,
Mudsdale. It's such a fun Pokemon because like the Stanum ability, the ability is fun to use.
just a big old horse, like Clydesdale horse, and I'm just like, I'm glad they actually started to. I don't know if they're like running out of ideas. Let's face it, because they're about to hit 1,000 plus
Yeah.
Pokemon. But that's why I saw like they're going towards more like other like species designs. Like they have the three dogs.
Yeah.
There's so many dogs species in the world. Why not just have a bunch more?
Different kinds.
I
Yeah.
think that's a good idea. Like
I think
look
every
at all the snake species in the world.
I would be happy with more snakes. I like the snake Pokemon.
Like just like I kind of like like Belly Bolt that came out. I like frogs. So
Yeah.
like even though I will say
It's kind of goofy
I was
looking.
also talking with my same coworker, and we were talking about how this generation so far every Pokemon is either really cool or really derpy. There
Yeah.
hasn't been very many that are like in between. It's like they took their when they're in the process of designing most of these Pokemon, they either said we're going to either do a very good job as far as design wise, or we're going to do a very poor job.
Yeah.
But even in the
I like
derpy
the
ones,
spider
they still
one.
had good. Even in the derpy ones, like with like the Spider, Belly Bolt, like Sea
Clodsider,
Titans, Sea Titans, pre-evolution,
the
like I forgot what its name
Clodsire.
was.
I love Clodsire though.
Clogsire, like a lot of them very derpy, but at the same time, they still did a really good job and actually took their time with these designs. They didn't just say, you know what, we're gonna. I
Slap
know I'm
this
not
on that
supposed to
one.
say that, like we're not gonna half-ass this stuff. We're gonna actually
Make it look
take our
nice.
time and actually put our time. For once, they put their time and effort into this game. It
Yeah.
seems like,
It looks
there's gonna
real
be
it
there's
looks
gonna be
really, really
bugs and there's
good.
gonna be like oh, there's gonna be bugs. There's gonna be like things that people don't like about it and stuff. There's no
Yeah.
perfect game,
Also,
so like there's
there's
gonna
going to be a beetle Pokemon with a revival move.
yeah. Is that supposed to be the
Beetle, dung
yeah?
beetles, psychic bug. That's going to be huge.
Which is funny because like my favorite bug Pokemon of all time, and this is my favorite Pokemon of all time, is Heracross. So
That's awesome.
I've always been a very big like bug fighting
Mhm.
person, but I also like when bugs get a little bit more love with their dual types.
Well, here's the thing. Bug itself is really bad, but it's a really good typing when it's mashed into other typing, because I think Bug has some really good resistances actually.
How many resistances do they have total?
It resists ground and fighting and grass. But those are
That's
really
three.
big typings so you have to realize ground is probably one of the best types in the game. Or yeah, because I told you I put in my tier list I put in S tier because like it's really strong rock against rock, steel,
Rock,
poison,
water, steel,
fire,
poison,
and
fire.
electric. And
Yeah,
it
so it has
only
like five strengths.
and the only thing
Five.
the only thing that resists is bug, which isn't a great typing unless it's paired with something. So like Scizor doesn't get hit by ground or steel no more. And then grass, which is more of
Which
a
I'm surprised
defensive
when it came
typing.
out that it didn't get that weakness.
What?
I said I was kind of surprised when the when Scizor first came out, the bug and steel typing, like
Yeah.
it didn't get that weakness
Yeah. So
just because of the bug resistance.
bug resists some really good typings. Like fighting and ground are the ones with the most uh types that are strong against. So like you're resisting pretty good typings. And then grass doesn't really matter because it's more of a defensive typing. There's not really any offensive grass types that you really use. And
Yeah, because the poor thing has so many weaknesses. I mean, it's kind of hard to.
yeah, because
Which is even funnier because I want Smoliv on my team because
yeah,
I'm not going to have
it
any other
actually
grass
hits
type.
some really good typings like ground and water too.
Rock. Oh wait, Rock's not that good, but I mean,
Rock's not really good. I put Rock in the worst tier honestly. Like it has some good Pokemon and like it has Sandstorm, but like eh, because like the moves that they have are really bad honestly. Like you have you have no accurate 100% accurate moves really except for like Excel
Rock
Rock.
Slide.
You have
Rock Slide's not bad.
Rock Slide's good, but like it's still not really accurate. It's 98% accurate. You don't have any 100% accurate moves except for like Power Gem and like every pretty much
Well, I mean, you also have
every
Stealth
rock
Rock.
type is like physical.
You also have Stealth Rock, though. I mean, that's probably one of the best moves in general.
Yeah.
Like if you're one of those people that likes to set traps and all that stuff.
Yeah. The thing is like most ground types and everything knows it though. So like
Speaking of
ish.
that, like Stealth Rock and all that, do you think there's gonna be any new like trap moves in this game or not really?
I haven't heard of any right now. I haven't seen it. I think
Because
one
you
of the
know, every
best
generation of games, there's
yeah.
always at least one newer like trap move.
You know what I think will be really big in the game is the dolphin Pokemon. Cause like what it has is like an ability called Zero to Hero. So basically,
Yeah.
you know, in a big dolphin buff one, so it has two forms. So like the basic form, which is it's not that good, but like the one fighting one is really strong. Like it's like it has amazing
Have they
bulk,
said
it has
anything
good
about like
speed.
is that supposed to be like the evolution, the different forms? Is that supposed to be like a gender difference?
No, it's like what once the weaker form switches out, you can switch out the weakest form, and when you switch out into another Pokemon, so like let's say you use like flip turn to switch out, it changes into the other form.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then not only
So it's
that, but
almost like
it
it's
has
almost like
a
wishy washy.
signature move called Jet Punch, which is just Aqua Jet, but it's 60 base power. So
Yeah,
basically,
so
they
it's
have
just a
they,
stronger,
ba-
faster Aqua Jet.
basically they have Scizor Bullet Punch in a way.
Interesting. I might use that dolphin Pokemon.
I don't know how you get it though.
Well, probably gonna be like on the coast, like on I don't know which coast, but
I mean the
it's gonna be on.
evolution.
Oh, how to evolve it? Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I haven't looked
Probably,
through
probably
all of
though how to
them.
find it. It's
Like
probably in that
obviously we all know the stars are going to be like level 16, blah blah blah. But like yeah,
16 to 36 or
yeah.
36 or 32. 32 is normally like the grass type, whatever reason.
Sometimes
And
because some of the some Pokemon, some of the stars evolve earlier or later. Because like Grottle, Grottle, you get Grottle at like 18, and then with Quilava and uh Monferno, you can get them at like level 14, which is weird.
I never understood that. Like
Yeah,
either way, because like as you know, you're gonna have out of all the levels, you're gonna have the final form the longest
yeah.
of anything.
Which
Because
actually
like you have
reminds me,
to
like
go like
Torterra,
7
you also
levels.
get it much earlier than the other stars because you get Torterra like level 32, and then you get Earthquake as soon as you evolve it.
It makes sense though. I mean, the thing has so many weaknesses. It probably needed that buff.
Yeah.
Early access to. So you're saying no trap moves, potentially like any like terrain moves at all, maybe.
They're probably going to be more train moves. I mean, like Electric Train, the the Violet Violet one Paradox forms have an ability similar to the Scarlet ones where they boost up in electric terrain. So probably.
But
I
I heard that there's
I
no such
think
thing as hail anymore. It's called snow now.
oh yeah, and then it's basically just boosts up ice type defenses by a lot.
So it went from I don't know if it's gonna damage you because of snow, because
Yeah,
like Arceus, like if the snow kind of made a small impact, but not really.
yeah. Well, it's basically just hail with it was basically just like uh s- snowstorm for ice types.
Yeah,
Except instead of special defense, you get defense. Also, which is crazy because like uh Tyranitar won't have the new one won't have Sandstream. Like regular Tyranitar will, but like not the new one.
but yeah, because all the new ones are gonna have the same exact ability.
Yeah.
They're not gonna
I will
change.
say I like most of the I like all of the Scarlet ones more except for Tyranitar, which like I was happy that like Tyranitar was going to be in Scarlet because I'm going to get Scarlet. But like now that I know that there's going to be the Paradox Tyranitar, that's upsetting because I wanted. So you will have to trade me it eventually.
Yeah. Uh, is that where they're gonna have like the in the map? You see that there's that big old like vortex. Is it? I've heard like that.
I haven't seen it because I only looked at Pokemon and just Pokemon leaks and
So
stats.
you haven't seen the map. What the map looks like yet?
I saw like the map itself, but I haven't looked like what it looks like in game.
So apparently the paradox Pokemon are supposed to be in that vortex.
Got
I
you.
don't know if that's going to be true or not, but majority of these rumors and leaks that have been like said, most of them have been proven to be true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, there's 4 days. It always Pokemon games always get leaked the week when they're about to be released. So like, it's probably true. Like, probably not all of them are going to be true, but like most of them are probably going to be true because there's all these people who already have the game and everything too.
Yeah, but they're not gonna leak anything because they're not stupid enough to get sued.
I mean, some people do.
Oh
I'm not
yeah,
gonna.
but those people probably just don't care about their. Well, I mean, if you blur the images and stuff, I mean, technically you're not really revealing stuff. You're just kind of like describing it.
Right.
But I mean, like big old daddy Nintendo. I don't know, like
Nintendo ninjas aren't going to be happy.
which is fine because it's one of those. I'm not gonna be that person to ever put myself in danger
Yeah.
just to get a couple more likes and subscribers.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those YouTubers do that. Not no offense, no, you
Just
don't do that, but
just show off like the whole entire game.
which is all right. So, what do you think? Speaking of the whole entire game, what do you think? Like, because you know, there's always some Easter eggs in the
Yeah,
games.
there's
Like,
always Easter eggs, which is so nice of Nintendo. Because like ever since for a long time, there's always been Easter eggs to the new region. Like in Sun and Moon, there was Easter eggs of there's posters of
yeah, the
Electra.
Gigantamax Toxtricity.
Yeah, and then there was the Tapu figures in X and Y. So there's definitely going to be some kind of leaks. There's
I'm
going to be
wondering
some kind.
what do you think? Like, I know we're mostly talking about this game, but now
Yeah,
that because you notice I've noticed they've been a theme, right? So the first four generational games have all been in Japan, right?
yeah.
And based off Japan.
And then
And then
they start
Gen 5 was the first one where they decided they were going to go to America. So they based it
to
off New York City or New York State.
yeah,
And then Gen 6 was France. Gen
and
7
then
was Hawaii.
Hawaii,
And then
UK,
Gen
and
8
now
was the
Spain.
UK.
Now it's
So, and then
Spain.
this one is Spain and Portugal.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking just by going off the patterns here,
Personally, I
if
want
my
either
patterns are correct,
Egypt.
hold on,
I would
if
want
my patterns are
Egypt.
correct, hold on, if my patterns have been correct,
Yeah.
so they go USA, Europe, sorry, no, USA, Europe, USA,
Europe.
Europe, USA, Europe.
Right.
So I wonder if the next the next generation is going to be another USA game, like based, or is it going to be like
Europe or another
Europe?
country.
Or I've been hearing a lot of guesses. These are all just guesses. They're
Yeah.
not leaks or anything. A lot of guesses of like Egypt potentially.
I want Egypt, or I also heard like India, cause in the in the I told you this in Pokemon Legend Arceus, like there's a good thing that the thing like the professors from an Indian region, because in the past the Raichu said like it could vault like knock out a Indian elephant, right? And then in this one it said like uh
Yeah. Then you had
Caparaja
Caparaja came
was from
and
his
it's in,
region, so
and it's based off an
possibly
Indian elephant.
India.
Right.
So that's
Caparaja is based off an Indian elephant.
yeah, and that's interesting. I think it's probably somewhere going to be close to there eventually. I do think we're going to
That'd be cool. I'd be down for an India version because it's like, all right, we've done Europe for a little bit, we've done America for a little bit.
yeah.
Like, not to say, we're from America, it's okay. Like, but like we've already had enough like cool American exposure to the Pokemon games, so
I would like to
I'd
see
be
new
cool.
things.
I mean, yeah, we had Asian countries with all of Japan,
I would either
America.
want
Yeah.
Egypt, Australia, India, or Scandinavia.
I'm
Those
gonna
are just ones
go.
I want personally.
All right, so if you told me like if I had to pick like a top four of like random or not random, but the next location based.
you'd want. Yeah.
Right. I would want a Brazil, because you got the Amazon
Rainforest.
rainforest over there,
That would be
and you're gonna have a
interesting
lot of
too.
diversity with like more plants and animals, like Pokemon designs, more than likely.
Yeah, I told you that I was gonna make a region, but like that's too much work.
Well, not necessarily. I'm saying like it doesn't have to be Brazil. Like you're not gonna do the
Yeah.
whole Amazon rainforest. It's impossible.
No, no, I mean like I was gonna make like a more rainforest version of a region, but like it's too much work. It's like it's too much work for designs and everything.
Well, with South America, it's one of the best like uh
Areas.
diversity of um regions of you got like chill the Andes Mountains in like Chile and Peru. You have the
You have the
rainforest in
Galapagos
Brazil and
Islands.
the northern part of South America.
The islands, you have
Um,
a
you have
whole bunch of
islands.
it.
You have a little bit of desert.
You have a little bit of Arctic at the
Yeah,
very
because of
end.
Argentina,
Yeah.
down in Argentina over there.
There's penguins.
Yeah, I forgot the species of penguins they are, but
Yeah.
you
I
got
forget
all
too.
you got all that diversity of
Give me a
life
second.
too. So
We already been talking for like an hour and a half. I think we should probably wrap it up off because I don't want to have it over 2 hours long, you know?
all right. So
So
overall, before we go, last bits of pieces of like what do you expect from the game and just your overall expectations.
I'm very hopeful of this game. I think Game Freak been going in the right direction. I don't think one of the things I think I had a huge problem with Sword and Shield was it's so linear. It was so handholdy and it was telling you where to go every single area. Like Hop would be like, "Come here, come here, come here." I'm like, "Dude, chill." It wasn't fun. So I'm very hopeful with that. And I want to be able to like explore the world Pokemon more because I don't want to be like having Hop tell me to go here and come here. I go inside the hotel and he's like, come over here, and it's just boring. It wasn't really fun, and I just think that it can be much more done. I do think that there will be problems with the game. I don't think it will be perfect. I think that lore wise it will be good because all Pokemon game lore wise were pretty good. I think there's going to be really good detail, small little details, and I think that it's just overall going to be a good game with some problems. I think it will be a step up from the old games, but overall, that's what I think. What about you?
So I think it's going to be going in the right direction. I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what you said a little bit, but I'm gonna do a little bit of twist here. I think that it's going to be good, but it's not going to be as great as what people make it out to be.
Probably.
As far as like, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to complain about the Pokemon more than likely because that's what the game's about, like the
Yeah.
designs and stuff. But like the region itself, I don't think I just bought in the trailers and stuff. I really like it. I'm always about variety and different landscapes and stuff like that. So they're going in a great direction with that. As far as the Pokemon, my expectations with the Pokemon, I have to see them in battle first. And like in the games, I'm not going to really judge them too often right now.
Hmm.
And hopefully, I'm thinking with the games going forward. So, like, you and I were talking potentially of being in India or Egypt or any of those regions.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot more open space. And I hope to God that even in this game, with it being open world, there's not going to be, uh, like you
Handholdy.
said, yeah, hand holding and like they actually let you do almost whatever you want.
Yeah.
So overall, I think my expectations are if I'm gonna give it a rating out of 10 right now, like on
I
zero
would probably give it
one
8.
being bad, 10 being amazing, I'm gonna give it
Yeah.
about a 7.5 to 8, yeah,
All
something
right.
like that.
So
I just
thank you.
hope I just
Oh,
hope it
sorry.
doesn't disappoint us.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on with me, Damien. And do you have anything you want to shout out or anything?
Yeah, follow your boy Dame on Dame Time 263 on TikTok.
All right. Thank you for coming and thank you for watching. Give us likes and comments and subscribes down below. Comment what you think about this and just let us know your overall opinion on what you think Scarlet and Violet will be. Thank you for watching and goodbye.